All right, fans, how many Tim Pouch fans do we have out there here today? How about the driver who was victorious in the small cars, Pat Hires? How many people think Dan Dagenhalt's going to take this one? Well, it's about to be decided. Cars ready to go green as they're in turn number 4. The big Mutha is underway. Look at him race down that front straightaway. Mike Fiscato picked up a couple of positions, and meanwhile, Nickerson is your leader in the 523. Jason Brown moving up to second in the 8 car. Getting a nice start, started in the 5th spot. Lap number 1, Doug Nickerson. With the slick track cars being aware of the situation, and there's Travis Geyer going around on the front stretch. Going to try to turn it back around before the first and second place cars come down the front straightaway, completing lap number 2. He will go 1 lap down. Doug Nickerson the leader, Jason Brown in second, the kid in third, Jimmy White. Fourth is the 111 car of Jeremy Krause, and the 195 of Aaron Frazier moves up to 5th. Chuck Detweiler now in 6th, and Pat Hires is 7th. Carl Rupert in 8th. Battle for the race lead coming out of the corner. Oh, a little contact of 42 in the wall. Still Doug Nickerson in the Red Hill Express, the 523, down the backstretch. Only a second start of his career here at Grandview Speedway. Jason Brown, the defending race winner. As the laps click green, we'll definitely see the pace pick up. Starting to pick up just a little bit right now as we complete lap number 4. Third place, the 01 of White, the 111 of Krause, and you see 5th, the 195 of Frazier, the 70 of Detweiler, and 6th, Jeremy Krause. Up on the outside, the 111 will take the 3rd position past the lap car of Gary Conklin. Race leader goes way to the inside as he goes into turn 1. Drew Ott was really car jumping up and down going into turn number 3. He's really on the throttle. Meanwhile, lead change, the 8 of Jason Brown will now take the top spot. Jimmy White will move into 2nd. Nickerson dropped to 3rd. Coming down to complete lap 6, Brown the leader, White in 2nd, Nickerson 3rd, Detweiler and Hires going 4th and 5th, Sinkmar's in the 6th spot. Look at Pat Hires fighting the wheel on the backstretch, and then made a little contact with Nickerson, the earlier leader. That drops the 523 back close to going outside the top 10 now. Jason Brown the leader, Jimmy White 2nd, Chuck Detweiler in 3rd. Give him 2nd now as he did get by the 01 car. And now Detweiler trying to get by the race leader. There's your top 3. In between turns 3 and 4, Jason Brown, Detweiler, White side by side. Check that, Jeremy Krause actually up in front, was ahead of those cars for the last several laps. Quietly moved into that top spot and is moving away from that group, so that battle for second. So it's Jeremy Krause, the leader, and then the battle for second. Just about anybody's race right now. You see them in turn number 1. 8 car Jason Brown, 70 of Detweiler. Detweiler gets by Brown. Here's Pat Hires in the 2, the 01 of Jimmy White, 36 of Rupert. Sinkmars is there, and the 7 of Fiscaldo. All running forward position. Jeremy Krause right now trying to lap down a couple of the top guys in points. Here he is going to the outside of Chuck Eckert. He's already got Tim Pouch a lap down. Jeremy Krause, the leader in the 111. 111, your current race leader. Then it's the 70 of Detweiler in second, the 2 of Hires in third. Battle for fourth between the 01 of White, the 36 of Rupert. They're inside outside. And then the 8 of Jason Brown battling with the 14 of Bob Wink. And Ray Sinkmars in the 824 running in the top 10 here today. Hires breaking free now in the second spot. Some ground between 111 of Krause, 5 of Pouch, 2 of Hires. Down the front stretch, they're 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 as they go into turn 1. Bill Moyer, Joe Kunkel, 88 and 32. Then the 53 of Herman, 36 of Rupert. And that's the battle for position between 36, 01 of White, 8 of Brown. Pat Hires has taken the lead in car number 2. He got by the 111 of Jeremy Krause. This seemed like a few laps ago when he had a lot of ground to make up, but just like that, Hires is in the race lead. Got by Joel Pilgert, and there was just the slightest bit of contact, but no problems from that. Keeps going, and now closing in on Steigerwalt in the 6X car. Car got out of shape over there in 3 and 4 was Jason Brown. He, down on the inside, now coming back out onto the track in the 8 car. Earlier race leader had been running in the top 5. Dow Herman made contact with that Uke tire over there in turn 1 and 2. You see the damage to the car, and Jimmy White out of shape gets tagged by the 53. White going around on the back straightaway, facing traffic. Jimmy White was running in the top 5. Here comes Pat Hires threading the needle between traffic. And he makes it across, no problems. So we'll have a battle for the second position now between the 111 of Kraus, the 70 of Detweiler, as they go to turn number 3. Detweiler looking to the outside, going to try to make a move here through the traffic, looking for that possible open outside lane. Now tucks in behind the 111 of Kraus going to turn number 2. They go past the 44 of Pilgert. Here's Detweiler now to the inside, going into turn number 3. And Chuck Detweiler trying to get that second spot down the straightaway. Still close as they go by Ray Sinkmars 3 wide, and now Detweiler emerges into the second spot. Race leader Pat Hires in car number 2. Started in 14th here today. Winner last time out. Chuck Detweiler had moved into second, holds that spot right now in the 111. Jeremy Kraus in third, Carl Rupert in fourth. Looks like Travis Geyer will make a turn, the right-hand turn into the pit area now. Was off the pace for the last couple of laps. Jeremy Kraus up in turn 2 in the 111 car. Leader Pat Hires, second Chuck Detweiler in the 70, third to 36 Carl Rupert, fourth to 412 Johnny Sachs, and fifth is the 7 of Mike Fiscaldo. The fourth place car Johnny Sachs running in turns 3 and 4, trying to get through the traffic of Joel Pilgert and the 707 of Keeley. Jerry Arms in there as well. And then there's the fifth place, Mike Fiscaldo, putting a good effort here today together. And he's trying to close in on Sachs, who gets out of shape, makes contact with the wall out of turn 2. Gives up the fourth place, and now it'll be Mike Fiscaldo in the spot. Detweiler made some contact with the wall over there in turns 1 and 2. They're picking up speed, and they're starting to go high, wide, and handsome. So a tough break as you see Johnny Sachs here on the front straightaway off the pace. Made his way up through the field, up as high as 4th, and now going to the pit area. A lot of traffic in front of the race leader, Pat Hires. Now Drew Watt over there in turn 2. He made contact with the wall and stayed on the throttle. Jimmy White back in the race in the 01 car. They're calling the 412 of Johnny Sachs to either the infield or the pit area. His window net popped down, so he will be getting the black flag. He'll be sent to the pits. Now we have the red flag out. Jeremy Krause, a few laps ago, made some contact with the wall in turn 1, and the car spun to a stop. And Jeremy signaled that he wanted to get out of his race car. That's why the red flag is out with 39 laps complete. Pat Hires is the leader. Chuck Detweiler in the 70 is second. Carl Rupert is third in the 36. Seven Fiscaldo's fourth. So Hires starting from 14th in this event. Quietly worked his way into the top 5. And then on lap 15, he took possession of the lead. Been remaining in that spot ever since that time. And he's looking to become the first driver in history of the Mutha Enduro to win both events. We'll see what happens. A long way to go in this 150 lapper. Starter Josh Oswald looking them over, getting ready to throw that green flag. As he does, we're off. So Darrell Herman will rejoin the field in the 53 car. And Ray Sinkmars here on the front stretch, the 824 off the pace, was a little out of shape coming out of that corner, and now is up on the high side in turn 1. Get Hires on the throttle down the straightaway. That car going every which way as he goes through turns 1 and 2. Really flying right now down the back straightaway. Your race leader, Pat Hires, in the 2. Howie Bott in a 75 out of turn 2. Hires goes down to the inside of the Mad Dog Winks 14. That 2 car on a rail right now. Ray Sinkmar's back on the track in the 824. Jimmy White with problems in the 01 going to the pit area. And the 523 of Nickerson going to the infield. So a couple cars going out of the race. Fiscaldo the 7. Little smoke was showing on that last lap. Chuck Detweiler right there in the 70, the runner-up car right now. 36 Rupert in 3rd. Hires going around on a turn 2. Used up all the racetrack and then spun it out. Here comes Detweiler now into turn 2. We have a new race leader. Chuck Detweiler takes the lead. '70 Detweiler, the leader. 2nd, the 36 of Carl Rupert. 3rd, the 8 of Jason Brown. 4th now, the 2 of Pat Hires. And 5th, the 77, Brandon Geyer. We saw the 707 got out of shape of Keeley, and then Fiscaldo made some contact with the wall out of turn 2. Aaron Frazier here out of turn 4 up on the high side down the straightaway, slowing off the pace. Car 88 of Bill Moyer. You see his driver's side door is facing traffic over there, just entering turn number 3. And for safety precautions, we will bring out the red flag whenever a driver's side is facing traffic. We mentioned earlier that Bill Moyer and Jeff Hackett have been sharing driving duties on that 88 car this season. Took the lead on lap 49. The leader is the 70 of Chuck Detweiler. 2nd is the 36 of Carl Rupert. 3rd is the 8 of Jason Brown. And guess what, fans? That car will stay there as the driver gets out of it. Travis Geyer will be coming back into the race. Has had a tough afternoon. Like we said earlier, worked really hard to get this car repaired after the accident last time out, and it's great to see him back in the 25T, one of our regular drivers here at Grandview Speedway in the NEETS Series. Meanwhile, Chuck Detweiler. Been a while since we've seen Chuck in Victory Lane in the NEETS Tour. He's the current leader, and he has been one of the quickest cars over the last 3 races. So we're about to go back to green flag racing. Three wide over there, and Hires gets into the wall. That's Chuck Detweiler. And boy, they got tangled up in traffic and went around, and what a moment this is. Now Detweiler spins it back around, will rejoin the pack. What a difference maker that could be. So now the leader is Carl Rupert, 36. Howie Bott going to the pit area in the 75. Rupert working through the traffic going into turn 1, made a nice pass over the 824 and the 44. Up next is the 14 of Bob Wink. Skates to the high side now. Past Bob Wink going into the corner. Now there's smoke showing on the 70 of Detweiler. Brandon Geyer had a couple of top 5s over the last few races. Made a pit stop in this one. Comes back out now in the 77 machine. Race leader is Carl Rupert in the 36. He is in turns 3 and 4 with the 3 of Chuck Eckert just ahead of him, and a 70, the earlier leader, Chuck Detweiler. '78 has been smoking for the last, he is waving now that he wants to go off the racetrack. You see the right front wheel on that car on the 78 machine. John Hagley, and John will take it to the pit area, car number 78. Rupert's been getting really racy, running through the corners. He's still trying to put that 3-car lap down of Eckert, current points leader coming into today's show. Darrell Herman made another pit stop. He's back out on the track. Teammates racing closely to 36 and the 6X through the traffic here out of turn number 4. Joe Kunkel's 32, moving to the outside of Dan Dagenholt in a 65. There's Drew Ott, 312, as he goes into that action there with a lot of cars racing for position. Joel Pilgrim running the outside in the 44 car with Brandon Geyer in a 77. They've both been looking pretty strong here the last several laps going down the back stretch. Of course, Pilgrim has a top 10 in points effort going so far this season. Geyer also in the top 10 in points. And the 25T does get to the infield, Travis Geyer. Been a tough day so far for Travis. Last call on the refreshment stand. Last call on the refreshment stand. They'll be closing at 4:30. Last call on the refreshment stand. 32 is up against the wall. 32 of Joe Kunkel. This time we're going to get the halfway sign on Carl Rupert. 75 down, 75 to go. All right, if you take a look at that 36 car, the window net is falling down on the 36 car. He's going to get the black flag. So the window net coming down on the 36. He has to go either to the infield or to the pit area so he can get that strap back on. But that's going to give that lead up. There's the black flag for Carl Rupert. So the race leader is now Jason Brown in the 8. Second is the 70 of Chuck Detweiler. Third is the 3 of Chuck Eckert. Fourth is the 6X of Justin Steigerwalt. Fifth is the 39 Phil Evering. Jason Brown now the leader in that 8 car. Jason Brown down into turn number 3 on the inside. Got past Jerry Arms, closing in on 14 of Bob Wink. As we're kicking off the second half of this event. Brown started in the 5th spot, led for a little bit at the start, dropped back, now worked his way back into the lead. Well, Drew Ott in turn 3 had some problems there. He's trying to get to the inside of the 7 of Fiscaldo. Racing side by side with Mike Fiscaldo, and then down the backstretch pulls away, closing in on the 32 of Joe Kunkel. $14 of Wink, $412 of Sachs. There you see the 3 of Eckert running in the top 3 right now, that car, as he's trying to close in on that battle into his outside. Another car putting together a top 5 effort, the 6X Justin Steigerwalt. They're running closely, those 4 cars. 3 and 6X both in the top 5. Eckert encountering a lot of traffic here now in turns 1 and 2. And the 7 of Fiscaldo slowing on the front stretch. Jason Brown still on top here in the 8 car, defending winner of this race. Ran a part-time schedule here in 2012. Currently shown as the lead car as he goes down the straightaway inside of Brandon Geyer's 77. The 312 and the 32 have been putting on a good battle. Drew Ott in the 312, Joe Kunkel the 32, and Carl Rupert, who of course returned shortly after having to go to the pit area with the window net issues. He also puts himself in that nice battle they have going out of turn 4. Bob Wink in the 14 car. Kunkel's 32, drop it back a little bit, but it's still the 312 of Ott. And side by side with the 36 of Rupert, the 14 of Wink. Drew Ott, 2-time winner this season, 3 career wins at Grandview Speedway aboard that 312 car. Rupert, a winner last season in the 36. race leader, Jason Brown, he's trying to put a lap on the 77 of Brandon Geyer. .824 of Sinkmar's was off the pace. Looked like maybe a right front tire might be going down on that 824 car. Mentioned a few laps ago that Jason Brown was trying to put a lap on Brandon Geyer. It's still the same story up front as they work past the 65 of Dan Dagenhalt going into turns 3 and 4. Brandon Geyer, the 77, pulling away a little bit from the leader now. Now the leader to the outside of the 65 car. Chuck Keeley, 707, just in front of the race leader. We have 50 laps remaining. We'll see if Chuck Eckert could close in on your race leader, Jason Brown. .523 of Doug Nickerson back on the track. Started from the pole today, led a few laps. Good pack of cars with Phil Levering leading the pack there, the 707 of Keeley and the 65 of Dagenhalt. Tim Pouch on the bottom. Kind of quiet here today, Tim Pouch has been. 412 of Sachs, 76. There's a car way up high making a little contact. Johnny Saxon made his way by Tim Pouch, and Jerry Arms right there as well in the 76. As we said, a good line of cars now racing out of turn number 4 down the straightaway. Keeley gets a little out of shape and some contact was made there going into turn 1, so he drops back a few spots. As we're inside 50 to go, the top 5 cars are on the lead lap. Top 5 cars in the lead lap. The leader is the 8 of Jason Brown. Second, the 6X of Steigerwalt. Third is the 3 of Chuck Eckert. Fourth, the 36, Rupert. And fifth, the 70. Fifth is the 70 of Detweiler. All 5 cars are on the lead lap as we're closing in on the end of this one. So the leader in turns 3 and 4. And now down the straightaway. Close to a full straightaway advantage right now. And you see that battle for second between the 6X of Steigerwalt and the 3 of Eckert. Chuck Eckert racing for a championship today. Keep your eye on that 8 car, the right rear tire. Keep your eye on him as he's coming down the straightaway. Oh, there's definitely some issues there. Race leader, car number 8, Jason Brown, right rear tire issues. 6X is second, 3 is third, 36 is fourth, 70 is fifth. 412 of Sachs. Some contact over there. Jason Brown trying to hang on, but there's so many laps to go, and that car is giving out now, that right rear tire. And here comes Steigerwalt to take the lead. So Steigerwalt the leader now. Eckert in second. Steigerwalt leading in the 6X. Chuck Eckert second in the 3. Right behind him, the 36 of Rupert in third. Fourth, the 70 of Detweiler. Fifth, 39 of Levering. And it's getting close for that race lead. 6X, 3, 36, going into turn 3. This is your battle for the race lead. Justin Steigerwalt out of the corner. Top 3 cars, Steigerwalt, Eckert, Rupert. Down the back straightaway. Closing into traffic. Here's Chuck Eckert. We'll see what he does as he comes down the straightaway. Racing into turn number 1. Race leaders. Steigerwalt in the 6X. Eckert in the 3. Rupert 36. Rupert slides high now in turn 3. And the 3 closing in just a bit on the leader. Eckert looks down on the inside, but he stays in second. There's Rupert in third. Down the back straightaway going into turn number 3. Battle for the race lead, the 6X, the 3, the 36. They close in now on the driver that won the championship last season, the 5 of Tim Pouch. Leaders 1, 2, and 3 as they go to turn number 3 now. While these guys are racing for the victory, you see the 6X gets a little out of shape, and Eckert will make the move down the backstretch. Green number 3, Chuck Eckert, new leader. Steigerwalt just got a little out of shape. No contact, just got out of shape, and the 3 car made his move, took the lead. So it's Eckert down the back stretch. The 6X of Steigerwalt in second, the 36 Rupert in third. The 70 of Detweiler's in fourth, Phil Levering in fifth. Going into turn number 1 with a lot of traffic. We'll see what Eckert does. He looks to the outside, out of turn number 2. Trying to get by the defending champion, Tim Pouch. Still up on that outside, going into turn number 4, down the straightaway. Race leaders in turn 2. Here comes Steigerwalt down on the inside. Going down the backstretch into turn 3. Top 3 cars, you could throw a placemat over them as they go out of turn 2. Chuck Eckert. Steigerwalt in second. Rupert in third. Racing through the traffic into turn number 4. They're side by side right in front of the race leader with Tim Pouch, Joe Pilgert. Working through the traffic, still side by side in front of the leader. Joe Pilgert now will fall behind the 5 of Pouch. And then it's the race leader. Eckert wants to get by these guys. He's got the team cars right behind him. They're on the lead lap. They're battling for the victory. Steigerwald glances to the inside. Won't happen there. Still Pouch and Pilgert duking it out right in front of the race leader. And Eckert's able to get past the 44 of Pilgert. Joe Kunkel's 32, he'll get by. Steigerwald trying to stay within distance of that 3 car. He lost a little bit of ground, as did the 36 of Carl. Eckert using the outside in turn 2. Now putting a little bit of ground between himself and the 6X and the 36. Still the 70 of Detweiler's in 4th. The 39 of Levering is in 5th. Eckert's going to make that move on the outside through traffic. Been trying to get around Tim Pouch for many laps. And he made a nice move there on the outside. The 6X and 36 now mix it up for the runner-up spot. Battle for second. Out of turn 2. Justin Steigerwald on the inside. Carl Rupert on the outside, side by side to turn 3. Rupert's got the spot as he goes to the outside of Joe Kunkel's 32. Here comes Carl. So Rupert will have quite a bit of ground to make up now because Eckert was able to get past Timmy Pouch and Brandon Geyer. He's on the backstretch now, works past Dagenhall, 65. Keep in mind that the 3 is also racing for a championship. Came in the leader coming into today. Now closing in on the 5th place car, the Iron Man, Phil Levering in the 39. Detweiler is 4th. Levering is 5th. Then you have your leader. And of course, Tim Pouch has been running very strongly. Not on the same lap as your leader. Eckert might get held up by these guys, and Rupert is, meanwhile, he's making his way past Brandon Geyer, 77. So he might have gained a little bit of ground that time as Eckert trying to get through this traffic, but it won't be easy because several of the top 5 cars are right there. There's your 5th place car, Levering, your 4th place car of Detweiler, then the leader. He's to the outside of Levering, made a nice move, and he makes his way past, going into turn 3. Carl Rupert trying to gain some ground coming out of the 4th corner. Now he swings it down to the inside of Detweiler. Chuck Eckert, he's been making the sweet moves through this traffic. And here comes Rupert. Rupert up on the top. And there he might have gotten held up by the 523, who of course was slowing on the outside. Had to back it down a little bit. In between the race leader now, the 14 of Wink, the 70 of Detweiler. Detweiler, the 4th place car. But now Eckert will be able to stand on the accelerator out of the fourth corner, and Rupert still has to deal with two cars. .36 able to get by the 70 of Detweiler, and now Levering trying to get past Detweiler. Dow Herman with smoke showing on that 53 car, and that's going to hold up Rupert also. Going to try to squeeze in between the two cars, and he does. This time it's going to be 10 to go. And Rupert, the second place car, makes contact with the wall. That's a tough break for the 36 Carl Rupert, as he was closing in on the leader. And now Justin Steigerwalt, the second place car, it's almost a half a lap now between first and second. With the 36 dropping out, that moves Joe Pilgert up to fifth in the 44. Three of Eckert, the leader. 6X of Steigerwalt, second. 70 Detweiler, 39 Levering, 44 Pilgert in fifth. Dow Herman finally has to go to the pit area. Chuck Eckert, car number 3, racing for a championship and trying to get that third win of the season. Drew Ott out of shape out of turn 2, fighting the wheel going down the back stretch. We saw him do that earlier in the race. Chuck Eckert on the throttle going into turn number 3, trying to win a race and a championship. Out of the fourth corner, you'll see the white flag this time. One more time around. The 2012 NEETS champion, Chuck Eckert, takes the victory.